Coliseum on the campus of Auburn University. This is the 2005 NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship. Thanks so much for joining us. Different place, but an awful lot of the same faces. 4 of last year's Super 16s back in the mix this year at Nationals. UCLA, of course, shooting for the three-peat. Georgia, Utah, and Alabama also returning. Michigan back at finals after a year away, and Nebraska edging out LSU in prelims to clinch that 6th and final spot. Well, along for the ride with me, as always, 1996 Olympian Amanda Borden. Obviously, the big storyline, Amanda, can UCLA continue to solidify its dynasty label? Here's Coach Valerie Condos-Field thinking, well, I lost all this senior leadership last year, so this will be a quote-unquote rebuilding year. Don't try to tell that to senior Krista Maloney.
Nor to freshman Tasha Schweikert. Tasha has transitioned with ease into her freshman year at UCLA. She won the Pac-10 conference as well as this year's all-around title. But the good news for UCLA is that Tasha has filled a much-needed all-around spot due to the fact that junior Kate Richardson will not be competing in all 4 events because of a thumb injury.
One team that has not been injured this year, Utah. 4 squads have been ranked #1 throughout the year. They've been on top more than any other.
Well, the reason they've been on top is because they have 4 solid all-arounders, one being Ashley Postel. Ashley was a 2002 world champion on the balance beam, and she has brought experience, depth, and consistency to the Utes lineup.
Alabama, of course, always in the mix. Last won the national title in 2002. We love Ashley Miles, and she will certainly be a fan favorite in this competition.
When you think of Ashley Miles, you think of nothing but power. She dominates vault and floor, but she also captured 3rd in the all-around. But the new face, however, for Alabama is freshman and 2-time Olympic silver medalist Taryn Humphrey. Both Taryn and Ashley are looking to help Alabama capture their 5th national championship.
But I think the big team in question this season is Georgia. At regionals, they struggled on beam, barely made it to nationals, and then they come to prelims here and get the top team score.
Well, Coach Jacqueline said this team is immature, partly because they graduated 6 seniors, leaving only 2 upperclassmen. They started the season rough, but in prelims, they seem to turn it around, and the question is, can they do it again?
It's called Olympic order, vault, bars, beam, floor. That's how Nebraska will start out this meet. Michigan on bars, Georgia on beam, UCLA on floor, Alabama and Utah with buys. For the 2nd straight year, this competition will be held on a platform very similar to Olympic world competition. Nebraska's Dan Kendig and his Nebraska squad making its 7th straight appearance at Nationals. And boy, was he thrilled to make it to the Super 6 with all-arounder Rochelle Simpson unable to compete in prelims. More on that in a bit. Let's get started with Christy Esposito up on vault for the Huskers.
Performing a front entry vault, pike front half, something we are not seeing as much in college. Little step on the landing, though.
Now, keep in mind, each of these teams will compete 6 gymnasts. The lowest score will be dropped. The other 5 will be combined for the team score on each event. Christy getting things kicked off for Nebraska with a 9.75. Suzanne Yocklin has taken Georgia to the NCAA championships every single season of her 22-year career in Athens. Not an easy task this year, however, after troubles in regionals on the event where the gym dogs start today, the balance beam.
Kelsey Erickson, though, has been a solid competitor. Very nice back handspring layout. This is a difficult event to start on at any competition, let alone at nationals. There's a lot of adrenaline and excitement. They need to come out and just control it.
Suzanne Yocklin has been messing with this beam lineup the entire season, particularly the leadoff spot, and it was Kelsey who came to her after Georgia's 4-meet losing streak and said, let me be the table setter, let me lead off, and she's been a very solid gymnast at that #1 spot on beam.
Very nice jump series, straddle jump, straddle jump. It's important to have somebody in that position that's confident. You want to get the team going, have a nice leadoff routine so that the rest of the team is set up. Very nice dismount, and again, fighting for those landings. That's what's going to decide who's going to win this competition.
That will certainly be a theme throughout this meet, and Yocklin has said because this is a young team, remember, Georgia graduated 6 seniors last year, that she's had to focus much more on the mental aspect of the sport than the physical. Kelsey Erickson with a 9.85 as we peek in on Bev Plotke in her 16th year at the helm at Michigan. The Wolverines earning a bid to nationals by winning the South Central region. And this is sophomore Lindsey Bruck from Marietta, New York. Balance beam is actually Lindsey's specialty. First team All-American last year on that event. But for now, Amanda, bars is her focus.
Starting right off with the release move, Pike Jaeger. Very nice. Something the judges are looking for on this event is hitting their handstands right here, straddle back handstand. Looking for a nice vertical line. And of course, as always, a nice dismount, looking for a clean landing. Double layout, just a small hop.
And those small hops will mean a little bit more this year. Talking to the coaches, they all know there is a greater point of emphasis on scoring. There have been a lot of high scores in this meet in the past, and the judges are really clamping down as we see a 9-8 for Lindsey Bruck. Last year, Valerie Condos-Field's UCLA squad defended its title by setting a Super 6 team record score on their home turf at Pauley Pavilion. A lot of seniors graduated: Jamie Dantra, Yvonne Tusek, Jeanette Antolin, but some pretty impressive freshman talent like Jordan Schweiker, Amanda.
Very nice second pass there, 1.5 twist front layout.
If the name Schweikert sounds familiar, Jordan does indeed have a sister, Tasha, who is an alternate for the Olympic team this summer in Athens. She too is a Bruin.
I talked to Tasha at the Pac-10 championship, and she said that she was so excited to share her freshman year with her younger sister at UCLA.
Well, nice to see there's no sibling rivalry. They're not twins, by the way. Jordan is 18, Tasha's 20, actually deferred going to college for 2 years to train for the Olympics.
Getting ready for her last tumbling pass. Front full, front pike. Very nice landing.
Jordan and Tasha Schweikert, the first sister tandem ever to compete for UCLA at the same time.
Good start for UCLA on the floor.
And it'll score well, but missing a little bit of that customary dynamite we're used to seeing out of UCLA floor routines. As Schweikert gets things started for UCLA with a 9.875, and we are underway in Auburn.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship is sponsored by Coca-Cola. Make it real. The new Singular, raising the bar. And by the Hartford Mutual Funds, official corporate partner of the NCAA.
Georgia off to a solid start on beam, but that hasn't necessarily been the case the entire season. For more on the Gym Dogs' up and down year on the beam, let's bring in Tracy Wolfson.
With this Georgia team being so young, head coach Suzanne Yocklin knew there would be challenges this season. Her biggest one, getting her girls to stay on the beam. All season, the Gym Dogs have been struggling on this event to the point where they almost didn't make nationals. So what did Yocklin and her staff do? Well, they closed practice for the first time in over 2 decades, and she handed out this wooden beam to each gymnast, told them to put it under their pillows and dream beam. It must have worked. During preliminaries, they finished with the 2nd highest score in beam.
We've all been through that see the beam, be the beam phase in our careers, haven't we? And amazingly, 50% of Georgia's routines this year had been performed by freshmen, among them Nikki Childs out of Plano, Texas.
Nikki was actually one of the gymnasts at regionals to save the Gym Dogs on this event.
That's right. They wound up counting 2 falls. Nikki had a bunch of major bobbles, but managed to stay on the beam. It's only a matter of a few tenths, but clean flight series by Nikki. But Denver, had they not struggled on beam at regionals as well, Georgia wouldn't be here at all.
Performing a very nice leap. One of the requirements on the balance beam, along with the flight series, which we already saw, as well as a gym series, which is a jump series. Preparing right here. Wolf jump, double staggering. Again, taking the eyes off the beam in a large arena like this is very difficult. They're also required a full turn. This is a gym acro. Beautiful front aerial. And of course, the dismount. She performs a very unusual dismount, something we don't see in gymnastics necessarily.
Reminds me more of diving than it does gymnastics.
She actually gainers off the end in a pike position. Very nice landing.
Nikki Childs, a freshman, has become one of the Gym Dogs' most consistent performers on beam. Georgia clean so far, but here's a little bit of trivia. Only Utah has won the championship starting on beam. That was back in '95, as we see a 9.9 for Nikki Childs. UCLA's Kay Richardson and her original dance move. Do we call this a dance move?
I think we called it the
elephant walk, the anteater walk. I guess that's what you get when you have a coach in Val Condo's field whose background is in dance. You might notice how Kate's right thumb is heavily taped up. That's a result of an injury she suffered in mid-February during pre-meet warm-ups against Stanford.
She has not watered down any of her skills, ending with a very difficult last pass, forming round off 2 whips into a double pike. Wow.
Talk about being able to block the pain, though. Kate, when she injured that thumb, still continued on, competed in every event except bars, and won all 3 of those events, and it really hasn't slowed her down, aside from not being able to compete on bars. Kate, a 2-time Canadian Olympic team member, as she records a 9.9 for the Bruins. One athlete, unfortunately, who has not been able to overcome injury, Nebraska senior Rochelle Simpson, who certainly didn't want to end her career like this. Had a fantastic year in 2003, all-around champion, also won the floor title. 2004 was basically derailed by injuries, but this year she rallied, came back, and won Big 12's, but in regionals, another injury, Amanda.
She injured her knee in the floor exercise. She came to this competition in hopes to compete, aggravating it in practice, however, putting her on the sideline. A big loss for the Huskers.
So Rochelle Simpson is relegated to cheerleader duty as freshman Emily Parsons prepares for vault, ultimately the young lady responsible for vaulting her team into the Super 6. She was the last competitor of the day for Nebraska Regionals on floor, rocked the house with a 9.925 that just nudged LSU out of the final spot in the Super 6.
Beautiful Yurchenko, full slight hop on the landing, but great height and distance from the horse.
One of the many powerful gymnasts we will see in this year's competition. And Emily Parsons with a 9.9 for the Huskers as we turn our attention to the uneven bars and Michigan's 5th-year senior Elise Ray.
Elise has always been beautiful on this event. Great form and great lines.
She won the individual title on bars last year.
Back up rise to handstand. A little short there. Very nice hop fulls. She gets ready for the dismount. Very difficult full twisting double layout.
Despite injuries sidelining her in 2003, Elise still one of the most decorated gymnasts in Michigan history with a 9.875 for the blue. Ray was the captain of the 2000 Olympic team, teammates with UCLA's Tasha Schweikert, now up on floor. Ow. You know, when Val Condo's field compares Tasha and her sister Jordan, she says their styles mirror their personalities. Jordan, she says, is more steady as you go, a very consistent, fundamentally sound gymnast. Tasha, she said, is very dynamic and competes the way she feels on any particular day.
She's a very difficult last pass. Double pike. Ooh, little step there. Not something that Tasha usually does. She's usually very good at sticking those landings.
Ton of energy on floor by Tasha Schweikert. That little step on the last pass, a common theme for UCLA on floor this year. Val Condo's field saying with injuries, they haven't been able to train as they usually do. And Schweikert has a 9.9 on floor. We switch over to Katie Heenan on beam for the Georgia Gym Dogs.
Very nice jump series. Straddle jump, straddle jump. Very solid back handspring layout. Another very solid routine so far. She gets ready for her dismount. Somewhat easy dismount for Katie. Round off double twist. Look for the landing right there. Perfect.
Katie was another one of Georgia's beam casualties at regionals, but you get the feeling she more than made up for it this time around, huh? And a 9.95 would certainly indicate that that is the case for Katie Heenan and the Gym Dogs. Now, you watch Kristen Maloney on floor for UCLA, and you just can't help but marvel at what she has endured to be here.
She makes this look easy. Double layout. Wow. You know what's so amazing about her is that she only tumbles about every week to week and a half.
She literally missed 2 seasons with leg injuries, and the impact of just that landing on the double layout, you wonder how she's been able to come back from it.
Beautiful whip double pike.
Kristen had multiple surgeries during those 2 years out from gymnastics. Came back to help the Bruins defend their title last year. Not only is she flawless on floor, Amanda, but she's even increased the difficulty of her last pass.
Getting ready for that last pass. She's performing a very difficult triple full. Looking to get all 3 twists completely around. Wow. Couldn't have done it more perfect.
It's difficult to imagine being able to have that much endurance when you train once every week and a half.
What a great job for UCLA on the floor.
Quite a boost Kristen Maloney has given the Bruins.
Let's take another look at her second tumbling pass. Whip back right to a double pike. Perfect form and a gorgeous landing. And of course, the last tumbling pass, very difficult, triple full. Done perfectly.
And perfect being the operative word, Amanda, the judges agree. Kristen Maloney is worth a 10, our first perfect score of this year's Nationals. First rotation standings, UCLA still in line for the three-peat, but after the most difficult apparatus, Georgia right behind. Tracy standing by with Nebraska's Dan Kendig.
Dan, you struggled on vault during prelims. A bit of a better performance in this competition. Were you happy with it?
Well, I mean, it's a tough event to start on sometimes. They've got that adrenaline pumped, and we just didn't get a landing. Other than that, they were great vaults. We just needed to, get a little more stick on the landing, and we'd have been much better.
How proud are you of the way this team has responded after Rochelle went down?
Well, no question. They've actually become tighter and stronger because of it, as a team and as a unit, because they had something to come and prove, and they were outstanding yesterday. And we actually had 6 great vaults today. We're looking forward to the rest of the meet.
A double dose of Ashley when we come back. Ashley Miles on bars for Alabama. And Ashley Postel takes to the floor for Utah. Rotation number 2, UCLA is the top vaulting team in the land. Alabama on bars, Michigan on beam, Utah on floor, Georgia, Nebraska taking a break. And it's not very often you see this dominant an Alabama crowd in the Auburn arena. But you have to think Tide fans are up on their gymnastics trivia. This is the 4th time Nationals have been held in the state of Alabama. Who won the previous 3? I bet Sarah Patterson knows the answer to that since she coached all 3 of those championship Tide teams. Senior Shannon Rosick, one of the Tide's co-captains, along with Ashley Miles. Shannon won this event at regionals last year.
She has beautiful form on this event, starting right off with the release move. Her legs never come apart on this. Ginger right here. Beautiful. She performs a fairly simple dismount, just a double tuck. Looking for a stick, and there it is.
And a 9.85 to get things going on bars for Alabama. Becca Clausen is one of 6 All-Americans who returned from Michigan this season. Junior out of St. Paul, Minnesota, beam and floor specialist for the Wolverines, and she earned All-America honors on this event 2 seasons ago.
Just a full twisting straddle jump right here. Little incomplete there on the landing. Getting ready for the dismount. A front full. Little hop on the landing.
Michigan fans seem to like it. A 9.75, good, but based on what we've seen so far, a score like that leaves Michigan in the middle of the pack as we shift over to UCLA on vault. And sophomore Ashley Peckett.
She's performing a Yurchenko Arabian, blind landing, very difficult to stick.
Ashley established herself as one of UCLA's top vaulters last year as a freshman. Coming into this year's Nationals, had a 9.8 or better in all but 4 meets, and this 9.9 really keeps UCL going at a nice clip. Only one coach has eclipsed the 800 win mark in college gymnastics. He is Utah's Greg Marsden. And what a find he has in freshman phenom Ashley Postel, who we're catching in progress on floor.
Using Michael Jackson music, very appealing to the crowd.
Absolutely, and Ashley really one of the most highly recruited athletes in Utah history. That's saying something when you're talking about a team that's won 9 NCAA titles.
It's her third tumbling pass. Pretty simple, front layout, front layout.
Simple but clean. Quite an impressive rookie campaign for Ashley. She was ranked 4th in the all-around after the regular season. Mom and Dad Linda and Gary don't just have one sports star in the family, by the way. Ashley's brother Kyle is on a football scholarship at Duquesne, and we have a 9.85 for the Utah freshman. The younger Schweikert sister on vault for the Bruins. This is an event where every UCLA gymnast has a 10.0 vault.
Yurchenko full. Nice job. Fighting for that landing. We're going to see a lot of those Yurchenko fulls throughout the competition. But what separates them is the height off the vault and, of course, the landing.
Will the judges reward the height and the landing? Oh, sure. 9.925, and that three-peat for UCLA is looking pretty darn good early on in this competition. Ashley Miles getting set for bars for Alabama. This is her first year competing all around, and boy, what a force she's been for the Tide.
Well, we've had many great, talented athletes. I've never had someone quite like Ashley who could just dominate the crowd so much. And she's a tremendous leader for our team, and she's grown into being a leader. And I think she is pretty much the heart and soul of our team right now.
Ashley, an All-American on vault, bars, and floor last year, competing beam this season for the very first time, and following quite nicely in the footsteps of Andrea Pickens, the 13-time All-American. She was on Bama's last championship team a few years back.
It's the very dynamic release move combination right up to the high bar.
Sarah Patterson definitely sees the similarities between Ashley and Andrea, and that they've really had to learn how to take that power and control it.
She is one of the most aggressive gymnasts I've seen on the bar. She ends with a double layout, picking up speed, looking for a landing, a little off balance. That's got to be a very small deduction, though, for Alabama.
Mom Shireen.
A 9.9. I think that's a little low for that routine.
Well, coming up to NCAA all-around champs, Tasha Schweikert and Elise Ray, and someone who knows a little bit about silver overseas at the Olympics. Taryn Humphrey on bars next. Get year-round sports coverage with late-breaking news and notes, plus scores and expert analysis. It's all at CBSSportsline.com. Well, UCLA's Tasha Schweikert delayed the college experience in favor of trying to make the Olympics. She was relegated to alternate status there, but she has been worth her weight in gold and Bruin blue. As a freshman, Tasha claimed the all-around title here at Nationals.
Partly due to this beautiful bar routine with a 9.95. And as always, a solid performance on the balance beam.
An event not always where you see power, but you do if you're Tasha Schweikert.
A very crowd-appealing floor routine and beautiful tumbling.
And in fact, that's why Val Kondo said she recruited Tasha. She said, I wanted her to be our superstar, to be our crowd pleaser, to interact with the fans. Schweikert's done that and more.
I didn't realize it, like coming in, that I could be the freshman to win it, so it was really exciting, and I've had a great weekend. It's been fun, and I just want to thank my coach and my teammates for helping me get through it.
Tasha named the Pac-10 Freshman of the Year as she prepares for vault at Nationals.
She performs the same vault her sister did, Yurchenko full. Not quite as clean on the landing there, definitely at least a 1/10 hop.
Yurchenko full, likely a popular vault because it is a 10-0 start value. You can afford to take a step on the landing and still go 9-9, as does Tasha Schweikert. Elise Ray up on balance beam now for the Wolverines.
Very nice back handspring quarter.
Columbia, Maryland native knows a little bit about being a champion on this event, winning the individual beam title in 2002 and gaining All-American status each of her 3 years she was able to compete.
Elise is a very calm competitor.
Always a good quality on a 4-inch wide piece of apparatus.
That's right. Getting ready for a dismount. Off the side, cartwheel, gainer full. Again, a small step on the landing. Michigan really needs to stick every landing to make their move up in the lineup.
And those are the types of things the gymnasts will really get nailed on in a season where judges are clamping down and scoring tougher, as we see with a 9.875 for Elise Ray. Over to floor, where we see Utah senior Annabeth Eberly, another young lady winding down her career.
Very powerful on this event.
Annabeth is one of 4 all-arounders for the Utes this year. They're all ranked in the top 25. Greg Marston was saying he'll really miss Annabeth's dependability.
It's her last tumbling pass. Front layout. Again, not very powerful tumbling pass, even though she is a powerful athlete, but very clean.
Perhaps the athleticism is in the genes for Annabeth Eberly. Her mom, Bindi, was a cheerleader at the University of Nevada. Her dad, Joe, ran track. As Eberly receives a 9.875 for her floor performance. Taryn Humphrey came to Alabama under some unique circumstances. She earned 2 silvers this past summer in Athens, but then she went 4 months on tour with many of her Olympic teammates.
For the athletes, being on tour is a time to celebrate their Olympic moment. There's not much training going on. So for Taryn, when she arrived on the campus at Alabama, she had to quickly refocus and get back into competition mode.
It's been hard for me training 40 hours a week to 20 hours a week, so my coaches have just told me to take it easy, and we don't need as many skills as I had before. Ashley Miles knew exactly what I was going through, and she just told me to hang in there, and it should be a lot of fun, and just stick together as a team.
She's needed a lot of help, just adjusting and getting used to competing in college, and she's done an awesome job doing that, and with her experience, the team is just 10 times better.
Taryn's experience helped her earn the 2005 bar title, and to the credit of the gymnasts on Alabama, Taryn didn't get there until January. They had already developed the team chemistry, but welcomed her with open arms. And Taryn, one of 4 Olympic gymnasts here at this year's Nationals. Tasha Schweikert, Krista Maloney, Elise Ray, all teammates in Sydney back in 2000. And Taryn Humphrey prepares for the event she won the individual title on.
She's very fluid on this event. She has a lot of Stalder movements. Right there, a little shy of a handstand. Again, a slight deduction. Very nice release move. That was a much better handstand there. Here comes another one, very important. Very nice. Double layout.
Sarah Patterson's done a great job gradually getting Taryn back into competition shape. Bars and beam, the only two events she's competed the entire year. 9-9 for Taryn Humphrey. Now, if you happen to be in the market for someone who's experienced all the highs and lows of gymnastics, here you have Kristen Maloney. She sat out injured. She's won 2 team titles, 2 individual titles, and she's got no bigger fan than her coach.
Kristen Maloney is a living legend. She is a legend in our sport. I think that she's the legend in collegiate gymnastics right now. She has accomplished everything there is to accomplish in the international scene, the U.S. scene, the collegiate scene. A day does not go by that I just am not openly thankful for having her on our team.
She added 2 more titles this year and brought down the house on vault with the Yurchenko double full.
I did it a few times in the gym during the year. That was the only other vault that I've competed really well in the past, so I just decided to go all out.
I love that. Ho-hum. Oh, it's just the only other vault I had. Like it was a front handspring. Very rarely will you see that in college competition. Maloney will not take that risk here in team finals.
She's already earned 1 perfect 10. This is a 10-0 start value, although much simpler for her. Yurchenko full, a little off on the landing, but it's still going to be a big score for UCLA.
Must be hard to control after doing a double, but mom and dad, Linda and Richard, giving their signals of approval. Not a 10, but close. Overall, though, UCLA fantastic in their first 2 rotations as we look at the Coca-Cola scoreboard. The Bruins on pace for the 4th best score ever in these championships. And even as we look at the average score, it's UCLA still on top, but the Gym Dogs nipping at the heels of the Bruins. And speaking of Georgia, the Dogs try to keep pace when we come back on floor. And Alabama heads to beam after this message and a word from your local station. To the Southern hospitality of Auburn University side of the 2005 Gymnastics Championships. In last year's individual championships, Carolina's Courtney Bumpers shared the floor title with Alabama's Ashley Miles. Bumpers outdid herself to win it again this year.
With nationals, there's so many wonderful competitors that you never know if you're going to win it again. So to do it back-to-back was really, really exciting because there were some really great girls in the floor lineup.
The only way to top last year was to be perfect, and she was.
It was so much fun. I mean, I came into this competition just wanting to have fun and do my best, and it was very exciting to see those 10s come up because I did have a great time.
Back to the team competition. We're in the 3rd rotation. Michigan and UCLA are on buys. Utah on vault, Nebraska bars, Alabama beam, and Georgia on floor. The Utes have Jessica Duke up on vault. Vault and bar specialist for Utah.
Round off entry, full twist, not quite as high as we've been seeing.
Duke's considered the best in-state recruit since All-American Deidre Graham competed for Utah a few years back. And a 9.85 for the Utes' Jessica Duke. Over to beam where we join Michelle Reeser with Alabama, the tiniest gymnast here at Nationals at all of 4'9". Michelle may be small, but she's got awfully big plans for her future. She's an accounting major and got a scholarship this past summer to intern at one of the largest accounting firms in London.
Her leap series, switch, leap, straddle jump, straddle jump.
I think it helps that her center of gravity is closer to the ground.
It always seemed like gymnasts like Kim Zemesko, who are always a little bit shorter, tend to be better at this event. For me, since I was a tall 5'3", it was pretty difficult. She gets ready for her dismount, back handspring, gainer full off the side. It's an okay start for Alabama.
Michelle Reeser went 9.75 on beam. And we head over to Michelle Emmons, in progress on floor for Georgia. She and junior Brittany Smith are the lone upperclassmen for the Gym Dogs.
Front full front layout.
You find a lot more gymnasts competing front tumbling just because of the higher level of difficulty?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit easier on your body as well. You're not going to take a short landing and hurt your ankles. Can also get a lot of connection bonus. Getting ready for a last tumbling pass. Nice double pike. Little hop there on the landing.
Brother Mike and mom Chrissy. 9-9 for Emmons. Meanwhile, Nebraska, Brittany Williams up for the Huskers on bars. And Brittany has been a steady force for Nebraska throughout her freshman campaign.
A little bit short on that opening handstand. Release move to Kachev. Right to a straddle back handstand. Again, short on the vertical line. Very important to hit these lines. Dismounting with a double layout. And again, a step, just a few deductions throughout the entire routine.
The Huskers missing the senior leadership of injured Rochelle Simpson. As Nebraska takes a 9.75 for Brittany Williams. All sorts of drama surrounding Ashley Postel's Olympic bid. Didn't qualify initially, then turned down an unexpected invite, and that left Greg Morrison with an awful lot of questions.
I didn't really know what to expect, because she came from a kind of a disappointing experience this last year, hoping to make that Olympic team, and I think a lot of people expected her to make it, and battled through some injuries, in that Olympic year and didn't get it done. And I didn't know whether she'd be burnt out or very enthusiastic about her gymnastics. So it's been a pleasant surprise that she's been so on fire, and it's been so much fun for her, and she's been so enthusiastic about it.
Considering Ashley finished the regular season number 4 nationally in the all-around, seems she's adjusting quite nicely.
Doing a Yurchenko full. Very nice. That's the kind of vault and score Utah needs right now. Let's take another look. She's great height right off the horse. Spots the landing, a little slide there of the foot, but great job.
And a 9.9 for Ashley Postel as we switch over to floor, and Georgia's Kelsey Erickson, last year's SEC Freshman of the Year.
Very powerful tumbler, front full layout, beautiful form and body line.
What a nice story Kelsey's been. Not a scholarship for her available last year, so she walked on, earned an academic scholarship. Needless to say, the Cincinnati are now in a full ride after last year's accomplishments.
I trained with Kelsey in Cincinnati, and she has truly come into her own as a college gymnast, performing more difficult skills with more consistency as well. Last tumbling pass, double tuck. Very nice landing.
Mom Susan making the trip from Ohio, and Amanda, a lot of these gymnasts not like Kelsey in that they merely take their tricks they had in club and continue to compete instead of trying to improve.
And another big score for the Georgia Gym Dogs.
Now this is a new sight for Ashley Miles fans at Nationals. Ashley competing on beam for the first time in her college career.
And like all her other events, she's very aggressive on this event. One of the reasons she didn't compete in the past on this event is she was slightly scared of her dismount.
But Ashley went to Sarah Patterson at the beginning of the year and said, hey, I want to do what I need to do to be an all-around competitor for this team, and see how that dismount works out.
Round off double tuck. Very difficult, small step on the landing, but she's got to be proud of herself for that.
And for her all-around accolades, Ashley won the competition at regionals.
She did have a bobble in the routine right here. Wolf 3/4, leaned back a little bit, lost her balance, will be a slight deduction.
Another score in the 9.7s for Alabama, keeping them out of prime position in the standings. Alabama's Taryn Humphrey awaits her turn on beam.
And her Olympic teammate sister, Ashley Capetz, struts her stuff on floor next. Coming up after gymnastics, live final round coverage of the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Year in and year out, Greg Marsden's team among the best in the country. But what a year it's been all around for Utah athletics. How about 2 players of the year? Basketball big man Andrew Bogut getting the Naismith Trophy and leading basketball to the Sweet 16. Then there's quarterback Alex Smith, who was just the #1 pick in the NFL draft by the San Francisco 49ers. And it wasn't just revenue sports either. Women's basketball, soccer, volleyball, all these teams qualifying for their respective NCAA tournaments. And then there's Marsden and his gymnasts finishing the regular season #1 for the first time since 1993. As we catch up with Rachel Tidd on vault.
Yurchenko full. A very nice landing. We've seen a lot of these vaults today, but that one not only had the height, but it had the landing too.
Rachel missed last year's nationals with mono.
Receiving a 9.9. I feel that's a little low for that vault.
Surprising Georgia squad neck and neck with UCLA, and in trying to analyze her team's inconsistency, Suzanne Yocklin wonders if her kids aren't just too nice.
It's not that you can't be nice and be competitive. I don't mean it that way, but they just lacked a fire at the beginning. And part of that probably was just because of the fact that the team was so young. And our senior and junior, Michelle Emmons and Brittany Smith, are pretty passive individuals. And so they had to assume a totally different role that they didn't get any experience for the last few years in that role at all. So it just took some time, and the girls are still really nice. I mean, they are the nicest team I've ever coached, but they are certainly fierce competitors right now.
Yocklin was joking about freshman Katie Heenan. She said she's so sweet and naive, she just didn't grasp the severity of losing.
Very nice double pike. She came straight out of elite gymnastics, so she knows what intense gymnastics is like.
Suzanne said, you know, she just didn't understand there's a winning tradition here at Georgia. I think we get that.
Choice of music, partly because this isn't something you see college gymnasts do.
But the one thing that Katie does well is really add personality.
Puts a smile on our faces. Front layout, front full. Again, beautiful form and body line in the air.
Mom Lisa likes it. And the judges grant their stamp of approval for Katie Heenan. Dan Kendig's Huskers hovering in 6th place now, but hoping to make a move on bars. Standing by, Michelle Zabawa, homegrown sophomore from Omaha.
Again, short on a handstand. It seems like the weakness for Nebraska is not hitting the vertical lines. Shrouded back handstand, there was the vertical line that the judges are looking for.
Nebraska was hoping Zabawa would do all around this year, but a nagging ankle injury from the offseason limited her to vault, bars, and beam.
Coming back with a great landing on that double layout, though.
Solid all-arounder this year for Utah senior Annabeth Eberly. She's gone all around every single meet this year for the Utes.
She's a powerful vaulter. The question is, can she control her power? Little of a rotation there on the landing, and again, it's a 10-0 start value, but that's a significant hop.
The judge is obviously taking that hop into account with a 9.875 for Eberly. Checking back with Zabawa on bars, a 9.85 for Michelle and the Huskers. Sarah Patterson's Alabama squad in 3rd, but mediocre marks on beam in this rotation, quickly starting to sink the tide. No one has gotten out of the 9.7 range, including junior Mari Bear.
Taking a look at her flight series, very important connection right here. Front aerial, loses her balance, has to pause. And then on our switch leap half, again, losing balance. Those are small deductions, but they all add up.
While Bama's been bobbling on beam, Georgia rock solid on floor. Here's Ashley Capetz.
Very nice front tumbling pass. Ashley's had a very sore Achilles. making this event a question for her.
Never know how much pain she was in. She didn't practice floor once leading up to nationals. I was limping very badly after prelims.
You might know the name Kupets after watching Ashley's sister Courtney Kupets in the 2004 Olympics.
And Courtney will be joining Ashley next year as a Georgia Gym Dog. In the stands now, though. And she knows her sister's routine.
Putting her sister out there.
Courtney and mom Patty leading the Georgia cheering section for Ashley. And the 9.925 Georgia continues to roll on floor. At this point, Taryn Humphrey needs a huge score on beam for Alabama. And imagine a man of the experience of international competition comes in handy here.
There is a lot of pressure anchoring this event. Back handspring layout, step out, a slight wobble.
Taryn competing while Ashley Kupets was on floor.
Switch leap right to a 3/4 back handspring. Beautiful.
How much do you find the elite gymnasts watering down their routines when they're in college?
You know, I think it depends on the athlete. In this case, with Taryn coming off of the tour, she's had to just get in routine shape. Some athletes don't water down anything. Getting ready for her dismount. Round off back handspring, double back, something you would see in the Olympic Games. Nice job.
Overall, however, a day on beam for Alabama. They probably wouldn't mind forgetting here at Nationals. Opposite end of the spectrum, however, for the University of Georgia, Gym Dogs dominating on floor performance they have to be happy with. UCLA, though, still at the halfway point atop the singular scoreboard. Georgia in second. Alabama has slipped to fourth. Tracy standing by with Sarah Patterson.
Sarah, a tough performance on beam right there.
Well, we stayed on, but we gave away some tenths, and in a competition like this, it's difficult. But you know, we got the two pressure events, bars and beam, out of the way, and we did a great job on bars. Our best two events are vault and floor, so we're going to be confident that we can come out and just rock this house.
UCLA trying to stay on top as they head to bars, while Georgia moves on to vault. Stay tuned. To the 2005 NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships. Bonnie Bernstein alongside Amanda Borden. UCLA could be on pace for the three-peat. Amanda, what impressed you about the Bruins in the first two events?
Well, they came out on two of their best events, securing 4 9-9 or betters on the vault. But they still have the make-or-break event to come, the balance beam.
And speaking of the balance beam, that's where Georgia happened to start, really overcoming a huge psychological hurdle right out of the gate.
That's right. They struggled on that event all year long, almost costing them a trip here to the Nationals. But they came out, nailed 6 for 6, and scored a season best score of 49.35.
Georgia moves to vault, UCLA on bars, Nebraska on beam, Michigan on floor, Alabama and Utah taking a breather. Tracy standing by with Greg Marsden.
Greg, you have to be happy with what you saw from your team on vault.
Oh, yeah, they were probably the best vault set we've done all year, so that was great. I thought on floor we started a little nervous with the first couple routines, but got stronger as that event went on, and then really built on that and did a great job on vault.
Up next after the bye, you have bars, which we know you struggled with last year. Your thoughts going into that event?
We've been good on bars all year, and I think we'll do fine. This team tends to build and get stronger as the meet goes on, so hopefully we can continue that tradition.
Thanks a lot.
UCLA's Kate Richardson, the 03 bars champion, but a no-go on this event because of a thumb injury she suffered in February. So Ashley Peckett, one of the Bruins, trying to fill the hole on an event where the Bruins have been very inconsistent this year.
The judges have been critical on this event, making the scores much lower. Very nice to Tkachev. Again, they're looking for the lines. Shoot to handstand. Preparing for a dismount. Double layout. Significant step there on the landing, though.
Ashley, like Kate Richardson and recent Bruin alum Yvonne Tusek, one of Val Condo's field's Canadian finds. Ashley competing at Worlds in 2001 and 02. A 9.8 for Ashley. Keep in mind, UCLA can drop a low score. Katie Heenan on vault for Georgia now.
Katie is a big vaulter. She's got a lot of power. Yurchenko full. Very nice landing. I tell you, Georgia is on a roll when it comes to landings. Let's take another look. She gets a lot of power off the board and the horse. Looking for the landing.
Georgia maintaining its momentum with a 9.95, and the Gym Dogs in this graphic, and we show it to you every year because it's relevant. Only 4 teams have ever won the national title. Utah leading the way with 9, but UCLA, the most recent damsels of domination, winning 4 of the last 5.
I would never use the dynasty word, the D word. I think we would have to win about 5 more in a row to be able to use that word. So it's going to be a challenge. But I think the reason why it's going to be a challenge is good. There's a lot of parity out there this year, more so than any other year, I feel. And that's good for our sport.
If UCLA can pull off a three-peat, the Bruins would be in rare company. Only Utah has done it. In fact, they won the first 5 NCAA titles from 1982 to 86. Courtney Walker up on bars next for the Bruins. This is her first time around at Nationals. An ankle injury basically derailed her freshman year, Amanda.
She's replacing junior Kate Richardson on this event. That's a tough spot to fill. She opens with a pike Jaeger. A little short on that handstand again. Very nice handstand on the shoot over, though.
Keep in mind a little pressure on Walker. UCLA trying to unload a 9.8 from its total score.
Double layout.
That's a career high for Courtney Walker. Unfortunately for UCLA, they needed a little bit more. Back over to vault where we find Brittany Smith up for Georgia.
Brittany performs the Yurchenko Arabian. Again, this is a blind landing. Could be very difficult to stick. Wow. She knows it too.
Brittany competed on a bum ankle at last year's Nationals, had off-season surgery. Certainly looks, Amanda, like she's back at full strength.
I'm not sure the judges could have found anything wrong with that vault. It is a 10-0 start value.
2 straight 9.95s for Georgia, the Gym Dogs, gaining ground 10th by 10th on UCLA. Can Bruin senior Krista Maloney hold off the charge of the young and hungry Georgia squad? On March 6th, at home against Florida, Kristen received a 10 on bars, making her the first Bruin to ever get a perfect score on every single event. She went 10-0 on vault last year, and in 2001 achieved perfection on beam and floor.
Been a very nice routine so far, hitting all those important handstands. She gets ready for a dismount. Full twisting double back. Excellent. That is the kind of routine UCLA needed.
You cannot stick a landing any better than Kristen Maloney just did.
Take another look at her dismount. Full twisting double back, and again, right there, her feet do not move.
Generates so much momentum on the dismount, and generating a little momentum now for the Bruins with a 9.9. Ashley Capetz
hoping to vault Georgia to the top. But Tasha Schweikert wants to keep UCLA's lead intact. Stay with us. Get complete NCAA championship coverage with recaps and results from each event at ncaasports.com, the official site of NCAA Sports. Elise Ray continuing her farewell tour for Michigan as we pick her up on floor. Elise wrapping up a 17-year career that includes about a dozen All-American titles and a trip to Sydney in 2000 where she captained the U.S. Olympics team.
Shows a very elegant style of music. That's what Elise is known for in her dance. Preparing to tumble. Whip half front layout. Very solid routine for Elise.
Mom Ellen tearing up. The parents are as emotionally invested in this sport, it seems, as the athletes are. 9.925 for the outgoing senior on floor. Georgia alum Corey Fritzinger in the house. Corey, of course, part of last year's senior laden Super 6 squad, unable to graduate with a championship ring in hand. But rooting on this year's Gym Dog, sophomore Ashley Capetz, wanting to make sure she doesn't suffer the same fate.
Very nice. She actually did a Yurchenko half-on pike front off.
Little variety here finally. We see Marlene Stevens, another one of last year's seniors, in the stands. This 9.9 helping the Gym Dogs cause because as we head over to bars, we see Jordan Schweikert's 9.825. Good score in general, but UCLA really needs to up the ante here.
Back up rise to handstand full pirouette, again slightly short of vertical, and it really seems like the judges are cracking down on not hitting vertical lines. Overall, just not a smooth routine for Jordan.
What's happening is this meet's turning into a pressure cooker for UCLA in their bid for the three-peat. Now they have to look to a freshman in Lindsay Vanden Eykel.
Starts her routine right off with the release move. That's Tkachev. Oh.
Well, it looks like this might now be the score UCLA will have to drop.
Take another look at her Tkachev as she swings up. The angle of her body is not bad had she been able to throw the bar back faster. She doesn't quite complete that movement. Right there you can see there isn't a great arch position, which then causes her hips to drop straight back. Not easy to turn it over and grab the bar, and of course, it's not enough to hang on.
The Bruins will now have to count a bunch of 9.8s. Not bad scores necessarily, but not good enough with Georgia trumping them with 9.9s on vault.
Very nice pirouetting sequence. Can be very difficult to come back from a fall. Very nice front giant to double front. Excellent dismount though.
Good recovery by Lindsay Vanden Eykel. The 9.325 Bruins certainly hoping to drop. Back over to vault where Georgia's lone senior Michelle Emmons trying to keep the Dogs' dream alive.
Got a lot of speed on this run. Very dynamic vaults. Yurchenko full. Excellent landing. She's got a lot of distance off the horse, another aspect the judges are looking for.
We can get a fourth 9.9 on this event. Georgia will take the lead based on average score.
She reaches all the way back to the end of the horse, and again, beautiful full twist, able to open out and spot that landing.
And Michelle Emmons puts Georgia ahead. What an incredible comeback story for this young squad.
Great. You're just like this great. You didn't give up. Talk to her. How many times did you fall your freshman year at Nationals?
UCLA's Val Condos Field trying to regroup the troops. Freshman sensation Tasha Schweikert trying to save face for the Bruins.
She has a beautiful bar routine, great lines.
If you're UCLA, you want Schweikert in this position. Coming into nationals, she hit 40 straight routines. Beautiful release. Lowest score this year for Tasha on bars, a 9.775.
Full twisting dismount, perfect landing. Just about a flawless routine for Tasha.
Mom and Dad, Joy and Shannon, overjoyed with their oldest daughter's routine. And a 9.95 for freshman Tasha Schweikert to keep the dream alive.
So Georgia vaulting NCAA record. Well, we got all 9 nines, a 9.95 and 9.25, so 5, 49, 5, 75.
Georgia number crunching. UCLA trying to keep it together. Here are your standings after 4 rotations. Do we potentially have a changing of the guard? Georgia overtaking UCLA for the top spot in the standings. They're heading for a bye. Tracy is standing by with Gym Dogs coach Suzanne Yocklin.
Suzanne, you're glowing, and rightfully so. Your team has nailed 3 events so far. This doesn't look like a team that you said struggled throughout the season.
Well, believe it or not, it is the same team, but they've just grown so much. The adversity, you know, mistakes is what really forces you to improve, and that's exactly what they've done. You can see it. It's like a total team chemistry.
With that vault performance, you took the lead over UCLA. I saw you eyeing them on the bars.
Well, you know, we've been second to UCLA 2 out of the last 3 years, and you know, we didn't come into this meet to be second. I told the girls, let's not settle for second, and I want this so bad for them. I just can feel it, and I want it so bad for them.
UCLA heads to beam. Can the Bruins shake off their slide on bars? Utah hopes not to repeat its debacle on bars last year, and after this message and a word from your local station, Ashley Miles heads to floor for Bama. UCLA hoping to make sweet music on beam here at Nationals. The Bruins trailing Georgia heading into the final event, but keep in mind UCLA won the 0-1 title with beam as the last rotation. Can they make history repeat? Michigan on vault, Utah on bars, Alabama on floor. We know where UCLA is. Georgia and Nebraska standing by. Christy Tedman up on beam for UCLA.
Trying to bounce back, take what happened on bars out of their minds. Very difficult to do on this event, of course. Very nice switch leap, straddle jump, straddle jump.
This is really not the ideal situation for UCLA. Balance beam, of course, the toughest event.
Uh-oh. Oh,
that's why.
And that's not good for UCLA. Not only do they have the pressure of what happened on bars, the rest of the lineup now has pressure to hit all routines.
There is no room for error at all whatsoever now for UCLA. Meanwhile, Utah in 3rd place, heading back to the disaster scene from last year's Nationals. Senior Annabeth Eberle, not part of that struggle, shall we say.
Beautiful release move. She has great form on this event, and again, very important, she's great at hitting those lines.
Last competition for Annabeth, but she'll be back next year at Utah in a different capacity. She'll be student coaching as she finishes up her requirements to apply for physical therapy school.
Finishing with a giant full double tuck. Very clean start for Utah.
And the Utes clearly in a better state of mind on this event than they were this time last year. With a 9.85 to set the table for the Utes. Hopping back over to Christy Tedman's score for UCLA on beam, a 9.275.
The problem came during her flight series, back handspring layout, step out. You can see her bottom foot right there, slightly off center. Her heel drops to the side. Very difficult to then pull up and save. And you can see, just loses her balance to the left side.
And UCLA's hopes for a three-peat now in dire straits. As for Alabama, currently in 5th place, but there is room to move up with mistakes being made by the competition. Here's senior Shannon Prozek for the Tide from the Woodlands in Texas. Now, Alabama has its sprinkling of elite kids every year, the Ashley Miles, the Taryn Humphreys, but Sarah Patterson says it's women like Shannon that build the foundation for Tide Gymnastics, the level 10s, the level 9s who come in. And Amanda, we talked about this, the gymnasts who continue to improve their skills and make an impact. Shannon's done just that.
Last tumbling pass. Double tuck. Beautiful.
Nine, 8, 7, 5. Being Lindsay Vanden Eyck right now, not fun. A, she's a freshman. B, she's coming off a fall on bars. C, UCLA has already suffered a fall on beam. She can't make a mistake.
Oh, little hesitation there. Have to know that she is so nervous right now. Again, a little hesitant in just her footwork on simple steps.
There is so much at stake on this one routine.
Double steg jump to a full twisting back handspring.
And not helping matters, Lindsay's only had one score of 9-8 or better on beam all year. She seems a little hesitant, Amanda, doesn't she?
Just seems cautious. Very nice dismount. This is not the event to be cautious on because when you hold back, you tend to make mistakes. But she seems to be happy that she just stayed on.
Relieved about the 9-7-2-5, but UCLA will have to count this score. Greg Marsden's Utah team in third place, trying to chase away ghosts of bars past. To be specific, first event for Utah in last year's Super 6, Dominique D'Oliveira getting things off on a tough note with a 9.05. Stephanie Lim not making the situation much better with a 9.6. And Veronique Leclerc, a 9.275 out of the gate. And really before the meet started, Utah was out of it. Freshman Ashley Postel, one of the big reasons Utah is here, making its 24th straight appearance at Nationals.
Beautiful handstand. Right into a straddle Jaeger, great form.
You've mentioned lines on bars. Hers are just beautiful.
Excellent pack salto. Beautiful toe point throughout. It's been a great routine so far. Very difficult dismount, double front. Very hard to find that landing, a little step back there, but overall a solid routine.
One of the things Marsden likes about Ashley is how aggressive she is in competition, a trait that certainly paid off for her with a 9.85. And closing out her storied career at the University of Michigan on the vault, Elise Ray. Every year Elise was healthy. She walked away with an individual title here at Nationals, the all-around crown in 2001. The beam title the following season. Then after shoulder problems sidelined Elise in 03, she came back and picked up a bar title in 04, just part of rewriting the record books in Ann Arbor.
The notoriety and the recognition that's been brought to our program into Michigan because of Elise Ray has meant a lot and helped our program to grow. I think to her teammates, she's meant a great deal in terms of being a friend and a resource and a support. It's been a lot, and we're going to miss her when she graduates, but all good things have to come to an end.
Elise with family support in the stands. Bill and Ellen standing by as their daughter prepares for her final event.
Yurchenko full. Very nice form, just that hop on the landing.
The reality of Elise's career coming to an end. very vivid for all. A 9.875 for Elise, not enough to carry Michigan all by herself. Another senior saying goodbye, Alabama's Alexis Brion, one of the most explosive athletes Sarah Patterson says she's ever worked with. Now, you look at Ashley Miles, you see the power. But Sarah said with Alexis, it's not quite as evident. Trust me, just watch her tumble.
On this event, she is so much fun to watch. Roundoff double tuck. There you go. Not only was she extremely high, she stuck the landing.
Alexis twice earning All-America honors on floor. And she is rewarded one last time, perhaps putting Alabama on the comeback trail. Well, how about this for a trio? Maloney, Humphrey, and Miles. When the 2005 NCAA championships continue. Back on beam, UCLA's free fall continues. Now 3 low scores on this event.
Jordan Schweikert's routine being one of those low scores. She performed a very solid side semi, but struggled throughout the routine with some connections, as well as this wolf 3/4, just checking her balance, slight deductions throughout the whole routine.
And while UCLA falls from grace, perhaps the tide is rising on the floor. Alabama making a run from way back with Taryn Humphrey.
It's a little bit of a new experience for Taryn in all aspects as she competes in a high energy environment here in the collegiate world. A little more fun, less stress than the Olympics. Very nice 1.5 through to 2.5 twist. Excellent job.
Also a very different experience from international competition because that's all individual. Here, college gymnastics is all about the team. And a 9.95 for Taryn Humphrey. Utah rallying too at the end of the day. Nicole Ford with a 9.9 on bars.
She had a beautiful routine. She has outstanding form. Watch this dismount, double layout, just a slight hop on the landing.
So now based on averages, Utah has a shot at bumping UCLA out of second place as we look on Rachel Tidd. Between injuries and illness her first 2 seasons, we really haven't seen Rachel at much more than 60% according to Greg Marston.
Beautiful opening release. Shoot over to handstand again. Almost pausing in that handstand. She's not going to let that judges take that away from her. Dismount, full twisting double back. Beautiful.
Utah showing its #1 ranked form. It held most of the season. And a 9.95, the Utes with their proverbial rally caps on.
Nice job, ladies.
This is the routine we all wait for. Ashley Miles on floor, enough said. Mom Shireen anticipating as much as we are.
Wow.
Two perfect 10s for Ashley in her career on floor exercise.
And just about 2 perfect landings so far as well in this routine.
Think the crowd likes the way she moves? There are some who compete on floor. There are others who perform. Ashley Miles, clearly the latter.
Whoop. And her signature C-drop, everybody loves to see. She gets ready for her last tumbling pass. It's about as good as it gets. Take another look at this tumbling. Beautiful double layout, and right here, the most impressive part. And again, double pike, these landings. She's got the power, but she knows exactly how to control it.
And the crowd gets exactly what it's looking for. A perfect 10 on floor for Ashley Miles. In the meantime, UCLA's Kate Richardson going 9.825 on beam. And look at this on the replay. The spot is on Ashley Miles on floor, and you could have the greatest level of concentration in the world, Amanda. Conceivably, that crowd could have affected Kate.
Well, as a competitor, you train to be able to block things out like this, but knowing what it's like to be on the beam with the crowd going wild, it had to affect her performance.
And at this point, UCLA has now fallen to third place based on averages. They will need help to keep the three-peat dream alive. Kristen Maloney, the final competitor in these nationals for UCLA, and her final routine as a Bruin.
Well, there's nobody better to anchor this event than Kristen Maloney. She's consistent, she's aggressive.
Val Condos Field insists if Kristen Maloney has groupies, she's the first one in line.
Gainer full up the side, perfect landing. What a great way for Kristen to finish.
A 9.925 to close out Kristen Maloney's career. Unfortunately, too little, too late. UCLA now ends on a bye. And unless Georgia and Utah make some serious mistakes and collapse, the dream of UCLA's third straight championship is now a distant memory. Tracy is standing by with Val Condos Field.
Val, your team needed to step up to regain the lead. Not the result you wanted on beam. What happened out there?
I think we actually did a really good job. We had, I just think it's the nature of that event. I'm just really proud of them. For a rebuilding year, I keep thinking, wow, but they got it done, and they started competing like Bruins, and I could not be more happy with them.
How about Kristen Maloney's final performance tonight and the final performance of her career?
Unbelievable. I asked her for her grips after bars so that we could put them in our Hall of Fame.
Georgia tries to get a grip on the title, while Utah tries to counter them on beam. The dramatic end to the 05 championships next. Golf on the docket after gymnastics. Final round coverage of the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Your sixth and final rotation looks like this. Alabama vault, Georgia bars, Utah beam, Nebraska floor, UCLA and Michigan are done. On the vault, the last collegiate performance for Alabama's Shannon Rosick. 3 9.9s or better on vault this year for Shannon.
Yurchenko full. Could see her fighting for that landing, but that's got to be pretty close to a 9.9.
Yep, make it number 4. Great way for Shannon to go out. And you know Suzanne Yoklin has the numbers memorized. If the dogs average 9.75 per gymnast, they will eliminate UCLA. First up on bars for Georgia, Nikki Childs. Mom Judy, always good to say a prayer. Amanda, you talk about hitting handstands. Nikki Childs hits almost every one.
She has a safe dismount, giant full double tuck, something that's not very difficult, but they're looking for a stick. And she does it.
And the dogs are thinking 9.75, 9.75. even better. To vault, where sophomore Brittany Comeau tied her season best 9.85 at regionals, competing exclusively on this event for the tie this year.
Yurchenko half on, handspring front off, and of course, beautiful landing. Body position on the vault was a little bit close. There might be a slight deduction.
And how about a new career high for Brittany Comeau? And you hear that Tide crowd rolling. Katie Heenan up next on bars for Georgia. Mom Lisa here for support. Katie drawing comparisons to Georgia great Kim Arnold, the two-time all-around champ in the late 90s. Kim, of course, on the 1998 championship team.
Katie has a very difficult dismount right here, double front. Perfect landing.
Tell you what, if Georgia's gymnasts can stay as clean as Katie, they've got a championship wrapped up. And a 9.9 for the freshman gym dog. Utah in second place, but not able to gain any ground on Georgia with Rachel Tidd's 9.85 on beam.
A 9.85 on the beam is a solid score, but in this competition, little bobbles or balance checks just isn't going to help move up the lineup.
You get the feeling this championship will be determined by fractions of a tenth.
This is Nicole Ford. She's had a very solid routine so far. Gym series. Leap connection.
Greg Marsden says Nicole epitomizes the term artistic gymnastics. Says she combines athleticism with a technique that's pleasing to the eye.
That's going to be a very pleasing score to the eye for the Utes.
And Nicole Ford's 9.95 gaining a sliver of ground on Georgia. Alabama's made quite a run today, nearly in last place at one point at Nationals. Here's Taryn Humphrey on vault.
It's a very difficult vault. Half on. Layout front off. Beautiful landing.
Bama's already had 2 9.9s on this event. Can Humphrey make it 3? Absolutely. The Tide making waves, solidifying its slot in third place. Georgia huddling up for a final run at the championship. Can the Dogs win it all? Stick around to find out. We welcome you back to Auburn and the 05 NCAA Gymnastics Championships. Perhaps some future champions in the stands. And Suzanne Yocklin on the verge of Georgia's first title since 1999. Karen Litchie powering the Dogs that year with 3 9.95s, 1 on vault, 1 on bars, and last but not least, another on floor to help Georgia win title number 5. Corey Fritzinger had to settle for 3 second-place finishes during her tenure in Athens, but she'd love to celebrate with these gym dogs. All Kelsey Erickson needs for the Dogs to clinch a 9-7. Dad Mark, Grandma Marilyn, full of anxiety.
Very nice back-to-back releases. Wow.
Kitzinger enjoying the moment. Hang on, though. Alabama still has an outside shot at second. Ashley Miles has scored a 10 on vault 5 times in her career.
I think she's done it again.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a deduction on that vault. Shireen's daughter already scored a 10 today on floor. And her reaction reflects the score.
Look at this vault. Nothing to be said but perfection.
Absolutely flawless. Now Alabama closes out nationals as the runners-up because over on beam, the 0-2 world champion on this event, Ashley Postel, hits a rough patch for Utah.
Ashley has been suffering from a bruised heel. This would be the event that she could not compensate on. In her flight series, you can see just a little bit crooked on the landing there. A major wobble.
And that wobble results in a 9.725. Tears of joy for Alabama senior Alexis Brion as she closes out her career. And for Ashley Kapatzwell, she can just relax and enjoy the ride. Sister Courtney will be in a gym dog leotard next year, hoping for the same result. First Courtney with Olympic success over the summer. Now big sister Ash and her college team storm back from the 12th spot at nationals. What a wild ride it's been for the Capetz family. And the young gym dogs, for that matter. Georgia has a peach of a meet. We'll talk to the champs when we come back.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship is sponsored by Dasani, the water that makes your mouth water. Monster, will today be the day they say you are hired? Monster, today's the day. And by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA.
The University of Georgia, its 6th title atop the Pontiac scoreboard. Here's Tracy Wolfson with the champs.
Congratulations, Georgia, your first championship since 1999. Suzanne, you said that this team lacked focus earlier in the season.
They did, and we've been working on that for a month. We've been working on focus, doing all kinds of different things, visualization, and just constantly working on that every single day in practice and all day today and all day yesterday. And they were a very focused team. It was definitely a meet about focus and heart and desire, and they believed they could win, and I believed they could win, and those stars lined up.
How about the poise of this team overcoming such adversity?
You know, adversity just, I mean, it pushes you. It's what forces you to improve. And, you know, these guys, they never gave up. They never quit. They never quit. The tougher it got, the harder they worked. And they believed in the system. They believed in the plan. And they're unbelievable. And I love them. This is just a great moment for them, and they'll never forget it. And I'm so proud that they were able to experience it.
Katie, you guys just seem to be in a zone out there. Was that the case?
Definitely. We've gone through so much this year, and to come out on top is amazing. Suzanne said desire, focus, and belief will equal results, and that's exactly what happened today. The whole team was amazing. None of this could have been done without every single one of these girls, and it's just an amazing feeling.
Ashley, let me ask you, how about this home crowd that came to cheer you on, including your sister?
It was incredible. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
Well, congratulations to all you guys. You deserve it.
Coming up, final round coverage of the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Thumbs up for Team Georgia
And kudos to our perfect performers. For Amanda Borden and Tracy Wolfson, I'm Bonnie Bernstein. Thanks for watching the 2005 Women's Gymnastics Championships.